Today we're going to be talking about area. And what does area mean? It means how many squares it takes to cover a flat surface. So that is one reason why we always label it with square units, because it is how many squares. This is just a reminder of what perimeter is. Perimeter means the distance around the shape. Area then is how much it takes to cover the flat surface. Here are some area formulas. I do expect you to learn this first one. Area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. The others I will give to you when we take our test or whatever, but I hope you become familiar, especially probably a triangle one. And in a trapezoid, the bases are the sides that are parallel. So the two bases will be parallel to each other. So that's going to be important to remember. So let's see if we can use these formulas and calculate some areas. So on number one, let's give this rectangle some dimensions, and that is the first thing you need to do is be able to identify the shape. So this is a rectangle, so the formula says length times width, 18, label it meters squared. So what shape is this in number 2, I guess? Didn't have a number on it there. It is a parallelogram. It has opposite sides parallel. So let's put some dimensions on here. The formula for parallelogram is base times height. Base can be any side of the parallelogram, but you need to have a corresponding height to go with it. So if I want to use 9 as the base, I need a right angle height coming out of there, and I don't have that. So I would have to use 4 as my base, and height, remember, is perpendicular distance. That means it makes that right angle, so I would have to use 8 as my height here and get 32 meters squared. Again, identify the shape. This is a triangle, so let's put some dimensions on it. Let's make it 6 meters, 5 meters, and 7 meters. And this is a right triangle. So the formula for triangle again is 1/2 base times height. So always start with that 1/2 when you have a triangle. And why? Because really it's half of a rectangle. I could go ahead and make a rectangle out of this. See, it's 2 times that. The base again can be any side, but you have to have a corresponding height. So I'd probably use 5. You could use 6 as the base. And if I use 5 as the base, then my height would be 6. You can take the half anyway. If these are even numbers, I like to take the half of one of those to stay with smaller numbers. 3 times 5 is 15 meters squared. You could say 5 times 6 is 30 and then take half. Okay, in this one, again, it is a triangle, so we need to put some dimensions on it. Let's say 12 meters. And remember, you can't ever go by what my drawings look like. I just make up numbers as I go. 11 meters. And this one here is 9 meters. So again, 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, what would be the base here? Well, we can use 11 as the base. If 11 is the base, 9 would be the corresponding height. When you do have odd numbers, you'll probably want to multiply first, 99, then take half of 99, which would be 49.5, or if you're using a calculator, 0.5, because you use 0.5 for 1/2 and multiply. Again, first thing is to identify the shape. So this is a trapezoid. Let's put some dimensions on it. 8 meters up here and 5 meters over here. So the formula for trapezoid is 1/2 times the height times the sum of your two bases. A lot of times I like to leave the height blank and find my two bases, the sides that are parallel, because that'll make it easier to find the height. So 8 plus 12, and notice it is a plus inside. And then what is the perpendicular distance, or makes that right angle between them? The 4, so times 4. Doing your parentheses first, you're going to get 20. Half of 4 is 2. 2 times 20 is 40 meters squared. Again, you could do half of 40 is 20 and then take it, or 10, and then take it times 4. So you should get the same answer. Alright, this one we need to draw a shape. See if I can, oops, sorry, I didn't choose my drawing tool. Alright, now let's try to draw this shape. And let's put some dimensions on it. Again, remember my dimensions. You can't go by my drawing what they look like. So 8 by 12 here. This little distance here is 2 meters. This is 2 meters. All right, it's going to be hard to read some of this. This is 8 meters. This is 2 meters. This is 4 meters. Alright, so the first thing, like I said, is to identify the shape. Well, what is this? Well, it doesn't have a special name. It's made up of different shapes. You should see 3 different shapes here. A bigger rectangle, a little rectangle, and a triangle. So we're going to break it down in each part. So let's look at the big rectangle. Well, that would be 8 by 12, which would be 96. Let's look at the little rectangle. The first thing we got to figure out is how wide is this? We know it's 4, but how wide is this? So think about that a minute and see if you can figure that out. Well, we know the whole length of the rectangle is 12, so all the way across is 12. We already have an 8 here and a 2 here, so this would be the leftover, which means this must be 2 meters. So it would be 4 by 2, which would be 8. Then we have our triangle here, which is going to be 1/2, a base of 2 and a height of 2. So that would give you 2 for that. You add all those up, you get 106 meters squared. So if you don't have a shape that you know, see if you can break it down into parts that then you can tell what they are.